Heritage, lowercase sc.
Hello and welcome to the North Alabama Game Day podcast. I'm Carter Hupel.
I'm Harrison Chandler.
I'm Sam Sweat.
And we're missing two guys this week.
We are missing two guys.
Normally, we will have Oakley Beavis here with us and Barrett Blakely. But, we went ahead and got our guest picker for the week, William Mann, quarterback of the Marshall Panthers.
QB1. Good to have you on, William.
Thank you. Glad to be on here.
All right. So, starting off, we're going to go ahead and be talking about week 5 of high school sports, all these games that are in our area and some that are out of our area, actually. So right now, they should have just had kickoff. The Thursday game is Tharptown at Decatur Heritage.
That's right.
I want to know what y'all think. So, Sam, if you would, go ahead and tell us what you're thinking on that game.
Well, Tharptown is looking for their first win this season, and Decatur Heritage came off a strong win, beat Lexington by 24 last week. Got Decatur Heritage pretty big.
I also have Decatur Heritage. Their running back's looking pretty scary. I know some guys down there, and they're very high on their running back, so I'm going to have to go Decatur Heritage.
I'm also going to have to go to Decatur Heritage. As much as Tharptown is going to want to win this game because they are 0-3, Decatur Heritage did come off of a really good win last week against Lexington, and I think they're just going to kind of be on a high. So I think it's going to be Decatur Heritage.
Well, guess I'm making it 4 straight because I also had Decatur Heritage winning this one. Pretty big, actually. They got 2 wins on the year and a big win against Lexington, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Hey, we got Bryant James in the chat. It's great to have you, Bryant.
Bryant, we appreciate you logging on, man. Good
appreciate
to see
you, brother.
Or have you.
Speaking of Bryant, we had Bryant on.
We did. We had
Bryant
on last week, and he made some really good picks. It's good to have him on, and the one and only Chandler Dixon.
That's right. This is our first week in this building. Normally we we're just talking. We're under a tent with a lifetime table and some lifetime chairs.
Yes.
Friday night lights, and it's a great experience, but kind of hard to beat this.
So you'll have to bear with us. This is season 1, episode 1, so hopefully everything goes to plan.
Trying to work some things out.
But things will progressively improve throughout the our season. So, anyways, on to game number 2. This is a Friday. This is not a Thursday night game. It's going to be Hatton versus West Morgan. Sam, what do you think about that game?
Okay, Hatton versus West Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I'll go ahead and jump in. West Morgan is 4-0. We saw them play Brooks earlier on in the season, played a really good game. They ended up beating them. Hatton is 2-1, also played Brooks. So I'm excited to see this game, excited to see how it goes. I'm going to have to go West Morgan. They had a big game last week, but I think it's going to be pretty close, but I'm going to have to take West Morgan.
Okay. I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I think defense is the determiner in this game. West Morgan has 2 shutouts this season. Hatton's not scoring, so West Morgan pretty big.
I'm going to go ahead and say West Morgan as well. The last time the teams met, fun fact, was actually in 2019, and it was 20-9 and Hatton won. But I got to say West Morgan's going to win this one. I mean, they have had a really, really good season, off to a hot start, 4-0. Now, I'm not dogging on Hatton or anything. I know that they're a pretty strong team, but they are 2-1, and I definitely do think that West Morgan will come out with this one. They look pretty strong this year.
Yeah, I'm also going with West Morgan. They're not doing as good as they were last year. Last year, they averaged 51 points a game, which is very impressive. But this year, so far, it's just 37.5 points per game. And I think they'll come out on top. Hatton did have a good win a couple weeks ago against Deshler, which I think surprised a lot of people.
If you don't mind, let's go ahead and jump to the Central game. We've got Ben and Travis on here saying, go Central Wildcats.
Wow. Well, look at the timing. Let's go ahead and do that.
Let's go ahead and jump to them.
That would be great. Okay. Whoever's ready can go ahead and start talking about the Central game.
Okay, I can go. Central's undefeated this season, and they won last year 48-21. I got to talk about that running back duo.
That's right.
Central.
I'll tell you, man. It's crazy.
I just don't think that West Limestone can stop them.
Is it the best running back duo in the area?
No.
If they're not, they're definitely up there. I gotta say that is a very debatable topic.
Both of them, I believe, reaching the top top 10 to top 8 of
Mhm.
rushing this year. You know,
Yeah.
Bryant Handback leading the way, 69 carries, 550 yards,
Mhm.
7 touchdowns, 8 yards per carry.
Oh.
Hunter Palmer, UNA commit,
Mhm.
64 carries, 397 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Little less yards per carry, but I mean, they run the offense through them, and it seems to be working.
And let's mention Bryant Handback is also 2 in the area, right behind Cam Fennessy, who we all know is an absolute unit.
Animal.
He is actually how many yards does he have this year on the year? Like 1,000 something?
Just over 1,000.
Just over 1,000. And Bryant Handback, if I'm not wrong, has 500 something.
550.
So I gotta say, props to Bryant Handback, but we'll talk about Cam Fennessy later, but he does have pretty much 2 times number 2 what he has. But
So-
anyways, go ahead.
As Sam was saying, Central is 4-0, West Limestone is 3-1. You know, both having a good year thus far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Central is looking to find its second 5-0 start in 4 years. They won against West Limestone last year, 48-21.
Yep.
And I'm gonna have to say I'm expecting a repeat of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ben and Travis saying them handbacks are beast. I
That's
can't
exactly right.
disagree with you.
Exactly right. I'll go ahead and say that I'll also pick Central. Central is looking really, really good this year. I'm pretty pumped about it. I do like my Central Wildcats.
That's right.
But West Limestone, they only beat Danville 19-6 last week. Not just a great game, but they did win. You know, but they also lost to West Morgan 29-7 the week previous.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to say Central, like I said, like we said, Bryant Handback, that running back duo is looking really, really good, and I think they're going to move the ball really well.
It's not just running though. You know, Jackson Brewer has made his way towards the top of the passing
Exactly.
Leaderboards this year. You know, 13 for 21 passing all year, only thrown 1 interception for just about almost 250 yards, 4 touchdowns. So it's not just the run game; they can throw it.
100%.
I also had Central in this one. So Central coming off of a big win last week against Brooks, beat them 28-24, and that their wing tee offense is really good, and they're having themselves a good year.
I definitely will agree with that. But let's get back on track. Next up, we have Florence versus Bob Jones.
You know, we had 2 Florence Falcons here last
We
week.
sure did, so we need to
Brian-
make sure we're careful on this.
Brian, James, and Chandler. I believe Brian is still watching, so we're gonna have to be careful what we say about the Falcons.
Chandler Dixon, best leg in the
Best leg in the 2.56.
yeah, in the
That's what they're
2.56.
saying.
Like, that's what they like to say. So
Right.
shout out to Chandler.
I'm gonna have to go Florence. You know, not the best start this year, 1-2, but they are 1-0 in their region. They're looking to make it 2-0 tonight. Bob Jones has a better record, but has already lost an area game, so it's gonna be a battle. But I'm gonna have to go Florence.
Yeah.
So you took my pick, Carter. I had Florence, but Bob Jones is 13-7 in the all-time series, and the kicker this week is Florence's bye on last week. I think come back rested, they're gonna dominate.
So I will also say Florence on this one. Bob Jones does have a better record. They are 3-1. Florence is 1-2, but also Florence has faced Bob Jones 21 times in the past 21 seasons. So they're the only team that has played each other every single season.
It's a pretty bold statement by Brian James.
Give me the Falcons by 50.
I'm not gonna go that far.
I'm not gonna say 50,
but
I will say that they're gonna come out with a dub.
I'm expecting to win.
But yeah, I gotta go Florence. Like I said, they're kind of off to a rocky start, but I do think they'll pull this one out.
Well, I've got Bob Jones in this game.
Ooh,
I think it'll
man.
be another close game, just like it was last year. So Bob Jones beat him 29-25 last year. I think they're gonna keep it rolling and beat him again this year.
All right. I like that take. I think that's
I
a
do.
good one. All right, we got Ardmore at Russellville.
Me?
Go ahead.
All right, so it's very simple. The best running back that's around here by far, pretty much Cam Fennessy.
Best running back I've seen in a long time.
In a long time.
Yeah, Ardmore's got no chance.
I'll tell you what, Cord Pig's great to have you on here.
Cord Pig, it's good to see you.
Nowhere
Nowhere near.
Back to
I didn't know what that meant for a second.
Cord, can you explain what that meant?
Yeah,
please?
can you
In your
please
next
elaborate
comment?
on that comment, please?
Anyway,
okay.
back to Cam.
I don't know about that.
I'll tell you what, when I'm watching Cam play, I watched him play against Marcel. I'm gonna tell you, I'm terrified of the man. I would hate to line up against that guy.
I would 100% hate to
I mean-
line up against that guy. He's just an absolute unit.
1,000 yards in about 5 to 6 games and 13
Four
touchdowns.
games.
I mean, he's a walking first down. Yards per carry, 10.7. I mean, I don't
Give the ball to Cam. That's really all we have to say. Give the ball to Cam and you will win. Yeah, he's looking really, really good.
Well, they do give him the ball. He's got almost 100 carries.
That's exactly
That's
right.
right. Hey,
That's exactly right. They give him the ball quite a lot.
What's their record this year? How they
I
look?
don't blame them. Let's see. Russellville is 3-1.
3-1. Okay, so it
Yeah.
seems to be working. You know, they took a big loss against us
So
a
yeah,
few weeks ago.
they
So
did.
and we were able to limit. I wouldn't say shut down. We were able to limit Cam to, I believe it was just 150, a little under 150 or something like that. So that seems to be the key to success for playing Russellville. If you can contain him, because you can't stop him, if you can contain him.
And good luck containing him. That's all
Yeah.
I have to say. And also, I'm obviously going to make the pick Russellville. Fun fact: over the last 4 years, Russellville has beat Armore 157-10 combined scores.
Yikes.
So I really don't think there's a chance. Hate to hear it. But Russellville, I definitely think is going to whoop their tail tonight, or not tonight, tomorrow night.
I started.
Oh, you already made your pick? That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Russellville as well.
Same. I also go Russellville. Tennessee's gonna have a big game, and they're gonna win.
Caden, it's great to have you on here. I appreciate your comment.
Caden,
That's
can,
great.
Can they see that? Can everybody see that comment? Okay, good.
Caden, I appreciate your honesty. We did come out with the win, so that's what matters. But Cam did make us look like a fool a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And I gotta say, that's probably about the best guy that could make you look like a fool. At
Absolutely.
least he's an absolute unit,
Absolutely.
elite athlete.
You know, and there was an article in the paper about him this week. You know,
There was. He
there were
pretty much
talks.
had the whole headline almost.
Yeah, he was the front page of the Blitz this week. You
Yeah,
know,
100% was.
there were talks of him leaving this summer, and he decided to stay home and stay in Russellville. And I'm pretty sure everybody in Russellville.
I'm sure everybody is very grateful for that. I will say. William, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, I said I got Russellville in this game. Tennessee will have another big game, and Armore will not have enough to stop them.
Definitely not. Definitely not. All right, Central West Limestone. Oh, we already did that actually.
We'll skip that
Let's
one.
go. Brooks at Wilson.
Brooks at Wilson.
How do
You know,
feel about that one.
we've said some stuff in the past, you know, but I'm expecting a better game out of Wilson, a better game, but I don't see Brooks being beat. I don't. I think Brooks has a great
Not
offense.
because Brooks is just like insane, but
Wilson hasn't looked the best this year. You know, they're
Exactly.
working out some
but at
things
the
this
same
year.
time, you know, that makes them want to play harder.
That's
I mean,
right.
they're 0-4 right now. They
Yeah.
want at least one win.
Looking for their
They're
first
gonna be playing
first
pretty
win.
tough.
So, but I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna go with Brooks. You know, Garrett and Cash seem to have a good
Cash
connection
comes
going on to start the year.
100%.
And I don't see them being beat.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think Wilson's going to be any better than they've ever been. Yeah. So, last time the game was decided by single digits was in 1989. That's let's see.
What a bunch of studs. We appreciate
years
that,
ago.
Scott Wright.
Appreciate you, man.
So, yeah, Brooks is going to kill him.
Brooks all the way.
I will also have to go with Brooks. I really don't think this is much of a question here, but don't mean that rude. Brooks is 1-2, so they haven't started off super hot either. Neither has Wilson. Like I said, they're 0-4. But Wilson's going to be playing pretty hard. I mean, they definitely want to win, and Brooks has won the last 7 meetings by a combined score of 323-82. So that's, you know, pretty big margin there. So I definitely do think that Brooks is going to come out with a dub.
You know, and I'm rooting for Wilson this year.
I
you
am
know?
too. Honestly, I want the best for Wilson.
I feel bad. You know, 0-3. It's not a good way to start.
0-4.
0-4.
0-4. I hate to even say that.
But
I hate
to
to
be
say
0-5.
I want them. Sadly,
yeah, sadly it is.
I want Wilson to bounce back. You know, I'm rooting for Wilson this year.
100%.
I want to see Wilson be the best they can be, which I know was better than 0-4.
I know they're better than 0-4. I mean, they're the county boys, man. I tell
That's
you,
right.
they're rough. They're rough.
They raise them different down there.
Just like
Zip
Central,
City,
man.
baby.
Central, I'm telling you, man.
Wild dogs.
Those wild dogs, they're raised different out there. Go ahead, Wilson.
Yeah, I also got Brooks in this one, but I do think Wilson will play a lot better. I think they'll lose by about 30, but I think the second half of their season they'll have some wins. I think this first half of the season has been a lot harder than the second half will be.
I'm going to clear up some confusion. We call William Wilson. So
that's just
if
a
we
nickname.
refer to him as Wilson, that's who that is.
Yeah,
So,
sorry about that, guys. Anyways,
moving on.
next game, Colbert County at Rogers. How are y'all feeling about that?
Colbert County at Rogers.
I can start.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Colbert County is 1-3, and Rogers is 3-1. But this is the kicker right here.
Rogers is 3-1.
Yeah, Rogers' opponents that they've beaten are 0-11 so far.
Wow.
And 3 losses that Colbert County suffered, their opponents are 11-1. So that's just a schedule thing. Colbert County's going to win this one.
Mhm.
You know, I talked to some of the guys on our team. We went out and played them last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I'm
actually.
sorry, and they said Culver County surprised them. You know, Culver County's got a good group of guys down there that want to win and they want to battle.
Mhm.
But you know, I'm gonna have to say I'm rooting for Rogers this week. You know, I want Rogers to succeed. You know, I'm very close to a lot of guys on there. I live really close to Rogers, but I'm gonna have to go Culver County here.
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to go Culver County. When we played them, like Carter was saying, we did expect them not to be near as good as they were, or at least as they looked. They looked like a pretty good team, and you know, I think it really all shocked us. You know, right out of the gate.
I agree. I think it's gonna be a defensive game.
Yeah, I definitely do think it's going to be a defensive game. But I do have Culver County on this one. Like Sam said, it is scheduling. You know, Rogers is not playing very tough teams, so their schedule does look, or their record does look good. But I don't really think that means much in this game.
Yeah, I agree with all y'all. I got Colbert County winning it. I think it'll be close at halftime. I think Rogers will stick in there, hang in there for a while, but Colbert County's quarterback can really run. I think he's going to break some big runs in the second half, and they're going to pull away with it, win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I agree with
A
you.
lot of size and speed from Colbert.
A lot of
right.
size and speed.
They look good.
Yeah, they surprised us when we showed up there. They got some big boys.
They packed the box.
I will say that they 100% do, and they like Central and like Wilson, especially Central. They raise them different over there.
And
I'm telling you, man.
Rogers likes to throw the ball. They might have to
They 100% do. And
change their defense up a little
they're
bit.
gonna have to.
If I'm not wrong, Tyser. We'll get to interceptions later.
I believe
We'll get to
Tyser
interceptions
Wood-
later.
Tyser Wood, Rogers quarterback, has thrown the ball 63 times this year,
Yikes.
which is the second most among these quarterbacks here listed.
Yeah, 63 is a lot, and
You know, not the best completion percentage.
not the best completion.
Not the best touchdown to
he
interception ratio. But
exactly. Yeah, he
you know,
likes to throw the ball, but
A lot of yards. He has
Whole-
a ton of
yeah, 528 is a whole lot of yards. You know, I believe if I'm looking at this right, he is number 3 in the area.
Yeah, he
in
is.
yards. So
but I mean that's what's gonna happen when you throw the ball 63 times.
that's right.
So, anyways, let's move on to the next game, Colbert Heights at Sheffield. How are y'all feeling about that one?
You know, we saw Sheffield last week at home, and I hate to say I wasn't very impressed. You know, I apologize to say, William, I left the game at halftime. There wasn't much to see there.
I left at the end of the third. It started raining.
I went and got some good food. You know, Whataburger was great that night. I couldn't stand to see Sheffield get beat any worse than it was. So
it was pretty brutal.
I'm gonna have to go Colbert Heights. You know, Colbert Heights they have players showing up all over the leaderboard. You know, Peyton Harvey,
100%.
47 carries, 514 yards. Another person with 10 yards per carry. That's a walking first down. Give him the ball and get out of the way. And I mean, I think he's gonna lead them to victory tonight. I got Colbert Heights.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as much as Sheffield being bad, even though we know they're not the greatest. I think Colbert Heights has had a very impressive start.
I agree.
100%. 100%.
Shocked me a little bit. So I think
Me as well.
Colbert Heights is going to have a good game, and Sheffield not so much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Colbert Heights has started off really hot this year, and I'm rooting for them. I mean, I think they're going to do really well, continuing throughout the season. They are 4-0, and I've got a picture on my phone actually from the game last week when we played Sheffield. It was 56-0 with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter. It hadn't even been halftime yet. So I hate to dog on Sheffield like that, but they're just not looking just super good this year. Now, of course, they can, change things.
Tanner Caudle decided to comment. You know, Tanner was supposed to be here tonight, but
Tanner was supposed to be here tonight.
Yeah, had some other important
plans got in the way.
I guess plans change apparently, Tanner. But
plans, I
we'd
guess,
love to have you
change.
sometime soon.
But like I was saying, definitely Colbert Heights is going to win this one. Sheffield's not looking too strong, but Sheffield is 0-3, and just like Wilson, I think they're going to be fighting a little harder.
I agree.
Yeah, I also got Colbert Heights. Caden Harvey has really impressed me this year. I didn't expect anything out of him this year.
Anything.
11 yards per carry. Haven't heard of him, but 500 yards on the year is really impressive.
Very
for
impressive.
4 games. They're also 4-0. I think they're going to be 5-0 next week.
And
100%.
it seems like they're just dominating the run game. You know, I look and their quarterback has only thrown 19 passes this year, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's it's really good. But
Very impressive.
I'm looking here, and I believe they have 3 rushing leaders within the top 15. You know, we talked about Caden Harvey, Gavin Caldwell, 50 carries. 434 yards, 8 touchdowns from him. And then just a little far down on the list, Mason Bryant, 63 carries. He seems to be taking the load of the carries, but only 371 yards, but also 4 touchdowns. So it seems like they're just pounding the rock on whoever they play.
They definitely are. They're looking really, really good this year. So Central. All right, next game. We're going to be looking at Coleman and Muscle Shoals. We got some 2 real big schools here.
Coleman, Muscle Shoals.
Sam, if you're ready.
Yeah, I think Muscle Shoals has won 10 of the last 11 matchups, and I remember last year going down to Coleman expecting a really tight game from Mars Hill, and it was
nothing like we
a
expected.
blowout.
Absolutely
So I
nothing
think
like we expected.
Muscle Shoals has looked pretty good so far this season. I think nothing changes this week.
Last time that Coleman beat Muscle Shoals, I believe, was 2020. They hit a field goal as time expired to end the game. So ever since then, it's been Muscle Shoals. So, it's a big area game. Muscle Shoals is 3-1. I expect them to go to 4-1 this week.
Yeah, I definitely think Muscle Shoals will win this one. Coleman only beat Jasper by 1 point. It was 21-20 last week. I thought there was a comment.
It was. Emma said she's very impressed. I appreciate that, Emma.
Oh,
that's why
we appreciate you tuning in. But Coleman is 2-2, so they don't have the best schedule, or not schedule, but whatever it's called, record. And Muscle Shoals is 3-1. Muscle Shoals is looking fairly well this year. But I do think that Coleman is a different team than what we're used to. Not from last year, but in recent years. So definitely think Muscle Shoals is going to come out with a dub on this one.
I think they're going to lean very heavy on their running back Hampton. 59 carries, 442 yards, 6 touchdowns. I think if they lean on him tomorrow night, I think it's going to look very good for them. I expect them to win.
Yeah, I expect them to win big tomorrow night. Coleman has not impressed me so far, and Muscle Shoals really has impressed me. Coming off a big win last week against Decatur, they're going to do it again tomorrow night.
We just saw a comment from Sawyer Mosley.
He's got
Muscle Shoals Trojan.
Yes, former, and he says he's got Trojans by 28 plus.
That's a big win.
That is a big margin, but honestly,
it wouldn't surprise
me. It really wouldn't.
In 6A period, it's hard to win by 28 points. I mean, but Muscle Shoals has looked good thus far, and Coleman, 2-2, not a bad start by any means.
Not a bad start, but
Muscle Shoals just looks a lot better.
Yeah. All right, next game, Meek at Waterloo. So this is one that I would say I'm not very informed on this. I will comment.
I didn't prepare much for this
one. Waterloo, I was not able to prepare much on this. So, Sam, if you have any opinion at all.
Yeah, I have one thing only, and that is Meek won 52-14 last year. So, I got Meek.
I'm also have to take Meek. That's what the Times Daily picked. So, Meek for me.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go Meek. Really don't know anything about Meek. Sure, there's some great people over at Meek.
Absolutely.
But Meek is 1-3. Waterloo is 1-2. 1-2. So I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. Well, it could be. Could be a high scoring game.
It will be. I think
not a lot of defense.
I do think Meek is going to win this one by a decent margin.
I've got Waterloo in this one.
Ooh.
I remember I was looking at who they've played earlier this year, and I just remember thinking Waterloo looked better so far this year. I can't remember who they have played, but I got Waterloo.
I don't blame you. All right, next game. Phillips at Shoals Christian.
I'm excited about this one, guys.
Come on.
I'm really pumped. I'm a big fan of Shoals Christian. Great coaching staff down there.
Great
Love
coaching.
Coach Vic.
Shout out to Brett Vick. Awesome guy. He's really done some good work down there.
Great guy. And Fridge, Ashland Husseini, good friend of all of us.
Nickname is Fridge, by the way.
Nickname, yeah. That's not a mean thing.
Like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah. So, they're both winless to start the year.
They are.
So,
but better competition. Honestly, they're both
Absolutely.
wanting to get that first win, and
they haven't had the hottest start. Caden says, "Give me the flame."
Give me the flame. I'm
gonna go ahead and jump to a conclusion and say I'm also gonna go with the flame. But to go back, the teams together in 7 games total, but combined 7 games, they've only scored 34
points.
34 points. So for those going to this game, it could be a boring one, but
it could be a boring one.
I'm gonna say I got Shoals Christian. Shoals Christian beat them 50-7 last year. That's more than they've scored all year long already. So
50-7 last year.
50-7. I'm gonna expect a big game. Shoals Christian by 35 plus.
Wow. And
Absolutely.
speaking of Shoals Christian, speaking of Fridge, who is Ashlyn Husseini, if he is able to watch this at any point, feel free to message us. We would love to have you on the show.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you
as a guest pick. But anyways, I'm gonna make the obvious choice. Well, maybe not necessarily obvious, but I'm gonna make the choice. Shoals Christian's gonna win this one. Like Carter said, they beat the Bears 50-7 last year, more than their combined scores of the season this year, which is 8 games in total for both of the teams. Oh no, sorry, 7 games in total for both of the teams. So yeah, I definitely think Shoals Christian's gonna win this one, and I think Fridge is gonna have a good game.
Yeah, I've got the Flame in this one. So they're both off to not great starts so far, but
At least.
I think Phillips has looked worse this season. And I think Shoals Christian is going to get this win pretty big, by about 20 points.
I think it's going to be an exciting night for the Flame. I really do. First win of the season, they're going to go nuts.
A lot of energy.
Absolutely. There's a lot of energy down there at Shoals Christian, but I'm gonna have to say I don't think this game is about who's gonna be better. I think this game is about who's gonna play worse. I hate to be that way, but 0-3 and 0-4, whoever can have a quicker start is gonna win this game. Whoever can score first is gonna win this game.
Because I don't see it being a high scoring game. Only 34 points in the whole entire season out of 7 games from both schools combined. It's not going to be high scoring. So the people that are there watching, if your team wins, the end will be fun. The whole entire game will not be.
I'm excited. I'm excited for either team. Either team. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. But I'm kind of rooting for Shoals Christian here.
I agree.
I feel like we kind of got some
Connections.
Absolutely.
110%. All right, Red Bay at Lexington.
I can start off. I've never ever picked Red Bay for anything, and that's not changing today, and that will never change probably.
Hey.
Yeah.
I like
Go ahead then.
I like it. Come on.
Lexington coming off a 55-0 win, while Red Bay lost by 43. So numbers. Red Bay's not gonna win.
Red Bay's already given up 50 2 times this season. And going back at the stats, I'm a big stats guy. Lexington's stats have looked pretty good. Their quarterback. Thank you so much, Jerry Wilson. I really appreciate
Miss
it.
Jerry. We appreciate you
agree with
tuning in. Hey, and if you can get Davey watching this, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Maybe he can carve us something like to put back here.
We'll have to talk to him.
We'll talk to him at church. How about that?
Anyway, back to Lexington's offense. Brody Killen, 15 for 34 passing, 3 interceptions, but 8 passing touchdowns. He leads the area in passing touchdowns, so I think they're going to lean heavily on that. I'm gonna have to go with Lexington.
I'm gonna have to also go with what Sam said. I never have picked Red Bay really for anything. I don't think I'm going to. They are 0-3, so they haven't started off very hot. Lexington beat Tanner 55-0 last week, looking pretty good, honestly. Like I said, those county boys are.
Just to say, Tanner's not prime competition.
No, they're not prime competition.
Absolutely.
They're not prime competition at all.
Tanner hasn't won a game all year.
No. So have a lot of other schools. Now that I'm looking at it, a lot of schools.
It's hit or miss this year.
It really is. It really is. Not very consistent. Well, in a way, no wins.
Yeah, no
it's kind of
wins.
consistent. But so yeah, they beat Tanner 55-0 last week. That's the largest shutout victory since their 67-0 win over Tharptown in 2021. So I definitely do think Lexington is going to have to is going to win this game without a doubt.
Yeah, I've got Lexington in this game. I see Will White having a big game. So he's only had 4 catches this year, but for 156 yards, and all 4 of his catches have been touchdowns.
It's awesome.
So I think he's gonna have a big touchdown, and it's gonna really seal the deal in that game tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next game, Tanner at Belgreen. 2 teams I feel like we really don't think about that much.
Absolutely not.
Except when I just mentioned Tanner 5 seconds ago.
Well, this is a non-region game, so
It is.
not necessarily as much to lose. But Tanner is 0-4. Belgreen is 2-1. So Belgreen had a big win last week against Tharptown, 30-14. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go Belgreen. They're gonna carry that into this week.
I don't know anything about Belgreen at all, but all I know is Tanner is allowing 50 points a game on average.
Yikes.
And all I know is they're not scoring 50 points a game, so I'm going Belgreen.
Yeah, I definitely do think Belgreen's going to win this one. Like we said, Tanner. Give me the
Vance wants the
green.
green.
Vance, I appreciate you too.
Well, Vance, I hope you're right.
But yeah, the Rattlers have given up 50+ points every game, which is pretty rough. And they've scored 7 points total.
Really?
7 points total this whole entire season. I mean, I didn't think it could get any worse.
Vance, you may want to go back on your statement there, buddy.
Yeah. I didn't think it could get any worse from Shoals Christian and Phillips having 34 points in the combined season so far. But 7 points in 4 games. I'm sorry to all Tanner fans that you've had to experience that. Give me Bell Green.
You know, that's a little shocking to me because playing Tanner basketball last year, their team was full of athletes.
I'm telling you, they're a very athletic school, so something is going on.
And-
I'm just a little shocked that that's not translating on the football field.
100% agree with that.
It's easier to translate.
We need to investigate that. If anyone has any inside scoop, please comment.
There's not much to say for soccer teams nowadays. You know, not many people are focused on it, but Tanner has a plethora of athletes on their soccer team. I mean, they beat us handily 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to go into soccer. I'm a big soccer guy.
And
They
their
beat us 5-2.
coach is also their football coach this year.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Well, maybe that's
first
the
year
issue.
taking over the football.
That might be the issue.
First year taking over the football job, but you would still think watching them play basketball, they've got athletes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got athletes, so something's not happening.
Yeah, I've also got Bell Green in this game. I believe it's Bell Green's first year to have a varsity program. They're off to a good start, 2-1. I know they beat Shoals Christian, and I don't see Tanner beating them with those 7 points total on the year.
No, definitely not.
I've got Bell Green pretty big here.
Yeah, I got
this
Bell
game.
Green on a big win. I think
Huge.
Huge. All right, Vanna at Cherokee. 2 teams we also really don't think about that much.
I'll go ahead and talk about this. You know, both not a bad start to the year. Vina,
No,
very good.
Not at all.
I believe, did they play Shoals Christian last week or a few weeks ago? I'm not sure, but I know that they did end up
I
beating
think they
Shoals
did.
Christian.
I think they did actually.
And so, 3-0,
I'll check on
Cherokee 2-2. But all of Vina's wins.
So yeah, Vanna beat Shoals Christian last week, 32-8. It looks like.
The teams that Vina has beaten are 0-11.
Mm-hmm.
So they're haven't played the best teams
No,
thus far, and the Indians have won 10 of 12 games against Vina. 10 of 12, only lost 2, and the last 3 years they've beaten them by a combined 96-14. So I'm gonna have to go Cherokee. I got Vina getting their first loss of the year.
But also, I want to point out over the last 14 years, 96 points over 14 years. That's also pretty rough.
No, that's the last 3 games.
Well, I'm reading something wrong here then. Okay, that's what it is. I got it figured out. I was about to say something's wrong. They're
alright.
kind of looking like Tanner with their 7
Little
points
Tanner
this season.
Little Tanner.
But Sam, what do you have to say?
As much as I want to pick Vina, I just can't do it. I really can't do it. So I got Cherokee.
Yeah, I've also got Cherokee. I really don't have much to say about that.
Yeah, I've got Cherokee, and they're going to end Vina's start to the perfect season. And here's a fun fact. This is the first time Vina has been 3-0 since 1984.
Really?
Yeah. They
1984.
don't have a good history,
Since
their football program, but they're off to a good start. But I think Cherokee's going to end it
Thanks, Dad.
tomorrow night.
And Matt, we appreciate you tuning in.
You know, the first 3-0 start since, what'd you say, 1984?
I believe so.
It's not too hot.
But-
and I hate for it to ruin.
I do
But
too. Honestly,
I've got the big win streak of 3
mhm.
ending tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I'm picking Cherokee to win, but hey, I want Vina. I'm rooting for Vina. I mean, they're probably so stinking pumped that it's 3-0. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't had that in 40-something years.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. So definitely Cherokee's gonna win, but I want Vina too.
You know, let me jump in before we get too far. You know, we're getting towards the end of our show today. Got to give a big round of applause to Caleb Sampson. You know,
Yeah.
guy behind the scenes, opened up this
appreciate it.
place for us. You know, he's just everything looks great because of him. This is all him.
Very willing to help. We did not do any of this. He
Absolutely,
has been extremely helpful and
everything looks great.
couldn't ask for any more.
That's
I
right.
really couldn't.
Very appreciative, Caleb.
Thank you. He's giving a thumbs up behind the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, next game, Winfield at Phil Campbell.
Yeah,
Start
so
us off, Sam.
I can start out. So Winfield's been 57-7 in around the last 6 seasons. So that's
Pretty good.
very
Pretty
impressive.
impressive.
And they upset Gordo last week. So and I don't even know anything about Phil Campbell. I just know they're not winning this week.
That's all you need to know, honestly.
That's all I need.
And you know, Winfield 3-1. I'm sorry, Phil Campbell 1-2. I know somebody with very close to some Winfield people.
I
Grew
do
up in
too.
Winfield. You
I
know,
do too.
Coach Span, one of Wilson's coach over here, William. Sorry. He is he's a big believer in Winfield.
He is,
and,
man. He is, and I will say they have been really, really good.
Absolutely, I'm gonna have to agree with him. You know, I'm gonna agree with Sam here. Winfield 57-7 in 6 regular seasons. It's just ridiculous. So I'm gonna have to go Winfield. Big win out of them.
Yeah, definitely think Winfield's gonna win. I really don't think that's much of a question. Winfield has kind of been a force to reckon with for the last several years. You kind of always hear about Winfield being a powerhouse, and I just don't think Phil Campbell's got it in him. Phil Campbell is 1-2. Winfield is 3-1. So it's not like they either have perfect records, but I do think Winfield's going to come out with this dub.
You know, I missed something. I meant to say this, and it just slipped my mind. You know, Coach Goodwin from school with us, you know, he coached Winfield.
He did coach
for
Winfield
years and years
football.
and years and years and years.
Championship in track, I believe.
Oh yeah, he was a great track coach. Won many state championships. There it is.
We got
Winfield coach Goodwin. You know, very appreciative of him. Great
yeah,
guy.
he did.
You know?
He is. We've got more. Now that I think about it, we have more connections to Winfield than
We do.
we
We do.
anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got Winfield by a lot this week. They had a very impressive win against Gordo, which Gordo's a really good football team. They beat them 28-7, which is just a huge win. And just Phil Campbell, I know they're not very good, so I got Winfield by probably 50.
You know, we haven't mentioned this yet, but the games in the area this week are full of big area games. Like, this is a big week in the Shoals area.
This is a big week.
Everybody is fighting for a big game. You know, these are the games that matters. What, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in the future when they're fighting for a playoff spot. Like, this is the biggest game of the year for some people.
These are really big games, but I will say there has not been a lot of games that I've been sitting here looking at the statistics and the players and been like, you know, I think this will be a close one. There's really not many of
Not
them.
many.
Like you said, they are big games, you know, in theory. Like, they are fighting. A lot of people are fighting for their first win of the season.
Their own fan bases are like, it's incredible amounts of pressure.
Yes, definitely. They have a lot of pressure on them, like Sam said. But I would say, as far as good games go out there, there's not
too many.
There's not many.
Yeah, I mean, how many picks do we have unanimous this week? Like 5.
A lot.
Majority of them have been unanimous.
Yeah. So I mean, this is not the week that.
Yeah. So I'm sorry we're not like arguing over the table and stuff. Like, guys, this is some easy.
That will happen in the future.
It will. Well, no, I'm not saying we're gonna like really fight, but I think we will definitely disagree.
We might when the cameras are turned off.
Yeah.
You know,
Sam is pretty crazy.
We talked about not too many big games, which makes me so pumped to bring up the next game.
The Morris Hill Panthers versus
Game of the week, I believe.
Game of the week.
I mean, it's got to be.
It's not close. It's really not.
It's
you know, huge article in the Times Daily this week about the Panthers and the Lauderdale County. You know, this matchup this year's a whole lot earlier than we had it last year. You know, we played them towards the end of the year last year, but the impact is still the same.
Yeah, it's still a very important game.
And although this is not the region championship, more than likely the winner of this game will go on to win Region 7 to Class 3A. So it's a big game.
It is a very big game.
And, you know, both coaches were quoted in the Times Daily this week. They both see this becoming a rivalry in the future.
And I have no doubt about that.
How could it not be? You know,
no doubt about that. After last year,
yikes.
Yes, it's definitely. Honestly, I would be shocked if it's not a rivalry when we play them.
Absolutely, it's gonna be an all-out brawl. You know, and
it will be.
We've got to give credit to Lauderdale County. You know, they came out and they shocked us last year. They earned that win.
They did. We did not play like we wanted it last year. But past is in the past, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say the implications on this game is huge, not just for Region 7. You know, I'd say it's for the teams and the fan bases because ever since, you know, the last second went off the clock last year and the cannons were shot, you know, we've been ready for.
That's right.
We've been waiting for this game, man.
No doubt have the players been.
You know, this loss really stung. It really stung for Marshall fans, Marshall players. I mean,
we try our best. I want to go ahead and say this. Obviously, we all go to Mars Hill. We try our best, and we even talked about this. We are not defense has to show up for Mars Hill. I definitely
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
Defense is definitely going to come in key, but we try not to be biased at all, and I really feel like we're doing a pretty good job
think we
because
are.
we haven't even made a pick yet. We've just been talking about the game.
Mhm.
But last year, I mean, we all have the inside scoop. Coach Higgins and all the coaches, I'm talking, they were putting papers in the field house and weight room to the score. I think maybe the score of this game, or they were just reminding the players about it all the time. Like they wanted it. They wanted it to bother them, and I definitely think it has.
I mean, and it did sting really bad because this was our first region loss in 37 games.
Mhm.
We had won 37 region games.
We were
in a
not
row,
used to that.
and we lost, and only our second loss on the turf. You know,
I remember that.
other than the Coleman fluke. You know, that's what I'm gonna call it, the Coleman fluke. You know, where
I don't even want. I don't even know.
we're not gonna go about that. You
I
know,
don't think I want to talk about that.
I hope
That was bad.
you at home don't remember what happened that game. It was
I
just
don't either.
absolutely
It
embarrassing.
kind of reminds me of the kick six in a way.
Uh,
It just kind of like
I may go as far as saying it's worse than the kick six.
Maybe the opposite. Of
okay now.
Yeah, I think the kick six.
Well, no, I'm not
earned the
talking
game,
about.
earned the win, and I mean Coleman earned the win, but
I'm just saying.
Mars Hill,
Yeah.
we outplayed them that game.
Something terrible
And-
happened at the end,
Well,
or at least Alabama fans.
we at least got to get back last year, and
We did,
it wasn't close.
and no, we thought it was going to be close.
We were ready.
You see,
We were ready.
There's a very similar energy in the Coleman game last year leading up to it because of that tough loss.
womp womp. It was said. Anyway,
Same energy
Is
that
Emma
we're
not an
bringing here
Alabama
for
fan?
Lauderdale County.
no, she is. Anyway, back to the Lauderdale County and Mars Hill game. You know, last year, Wilson, you can speak on this also. Were we not expecting a big win?
I think a lot of people were expecting us to win that game last year, and I think Lauderdale County surprised a lot of people.
I
when they
mean,
won that
the year
game.
before we had beaten them 38-0, shutout on their home field.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's
We
what's
did.
really going to create this rivalry. Is our expectation last year was to kind of like beat their brains in and really show them who's boss. And then when everything changed, like that, you know what I'm saying? I think that's really creates a lot of tension between these two schools. And I think tomorrow night, this obviously the game of the week, like we already said, this is going to be the game to watch.
Yeah.
It really will be.
I'd like to go in a little more in depth in that defense, as was mentioned earlier. I think for us, a big game breaker for us is William Embry.
Absolutely.
Cam at the linebacker position.
Win Crook also.
Him also, but
We've just got dogs all over the field.
We really do. I
Our-
gotta say, we got some nasty guys on.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you, Abby. We appreciate that comment. We got
Oh
some
my
nasty
gosh, yeah,
guys
like
on,
y'all,
on
apparently.
defense. Abby, if you don't mind, send another comment about William and Sam so they don't get their feelings.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we definitely do have some dogs on defense.
I mean,
They're fun to watch.
we haven't talked much about Samuel Sweeney this year. Samuel Sweeney has made his way to the sack leaderboard.
He has,
Tied
man.
for second with 4. You know, we've
Mhm.
got Sweeney blowing up the play. If he doesn't get it, we got Wynn. If he doesn't get it, we've got Cam and
100%.
Embry. And if we don't get it, our secondary is just full of athletes. You know, I think our defense is our most underrated part of our team.
I definitely think it is as well.
William, can you agree? As the quarterback,
I agree. Yes, I think the defense is the best asset to our team, and I think if they play like they have been, then they're gonna really limit Lauderdale County to a few points.
Yeah, so after we've already kind of discussed the game, let's go ahead and Sam, would you mind starting out with your pick?
Yeah, I got Mars Hill, and very similar to Coleman last year. It's not going to be close. It's going to be 21 points or more.
I think all our guys have and coaches especially, have a
Coaches especially.
very bad taste in their mouth about what
Mhm.
happened last week.
They talk about it all the time. Kid you not?
Absolutely,
Niggas
Vance.
don't
I'm
care
glad
the
you
way-
mentioned that, Vance.
I'm actually going to talk about that and see what he did because I prepared
let's
for
go ahead and finish our thought.
Yeah, let's
and
go
then
ahead and do
we'll
that.
jump
We'll
back.
get back.
We'll go ahead and make our picks.
We'll
I'm
get back
gonna
to
have to
that.
go Marshall. You know, I'm trying not to be biased, but how can you not? You know, I love those guys. I really expect a big game. Like Sam said, back to the Coleman game. We don't do too well losing. We just don't. After we lose, we typically come back and punch them in the mouth, and that's what I'm expecting
That's a
tomorrow.
great
night.
quality to have.
I'm expecting 21 to 14 points.
I will also agree with that. Like we said, we're trying not to be biased, but I mean, we got the inside scoop going on. You know what I'm
We do.
saying? And these guys want it. Not saying the Lauderdale County kids don't want it.
I'm
but
sure they do.
telling you,
I can tell you, Lauderdale County very much
wants it. I'm sure, but I'm telling you, Mars Hill. I really do think they're going to come out hot, especially after that bad taste in their mouth from last year. I think Mars Hill's going to come out. I think it's going to be a 14-point win. 14-point win. Thank you, Miss Ginger Willingham. We appreciate
Thank you so much, Mr.
We
Ginger.
appreciate
You're the
you
best.
tuning in.
I've also got Marshall on this one. I think we'll
QB1.
QB1, by the way.
I think we're gonna win it tomorrow night. I think our defense will really step up to the challenge and limit Lauderdale County.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind throwing back that comment from Vance, please. Let's get back to it.
So
Great. I mean, we started last week, on an absolute high note with Hudson Higgins. He had been looking for his first touchdown of the year,
yes,
with our three running back scheme, Caden and Jackson Penn seemed to be getting majority of the touchdowns. Well,
he 100%.
I think Hudson went in this game hungry. He ended the game with.
He definitely went in hungry.
I believe he came out with 3 touchdowns.
He did.
Winning player of the week.
And
all different, kickoff, pick 6, and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he scored a 79-yard kickoff return
to start the game.
The very beginning of the game. And to be honest with you, I was expecting it. I was waiting on it to happen. The second he caught the ball, I was like, well, he's scoring this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, he's fast, and that was awesome. Very, very exciting way to start the that game. And then I feel like 2 seconds later we scored, and then a couple minutes later we scored. Like, it was just, and then I left at end of the third. He left during halftime.
I believe Hudson scored the first 2 touchdowns before he even played it down of offense. Picks or kickoff return and pick 6. There's Abby mentioning William and Sam. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But
yeah, we were up 14-0 before I even touched the field.
That's right.
We were supposed to get the ball first, and I still had to wait half the first quarter to play.
As a quarterback, do you appreciate that, or do you want to be on the field?
I appreciate that. It's a great feeling to be up 14-0, a big cushion to start off the game.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Speaking about this run game, that Vance brought up, I think Jackson Penn is a huge difference maker, but the toughness that Caden Chandler shows when he runs the ball,
Can't bring him down.
I'm telling you,
unprecedented. I could tell you with Jackson Penn's speed and Caden's toughness, I just don't think they can stop that.
And you look at Caden. Caden's obviously a big, strong guy. Caden's not the biggest guy on the field, though. I'll tell you what, though. He runs tougher than anybody I've seen this year.
Does 4 or 5 to take him
It
down.
does. He refuses to go down. He cares about his
insane.
team.
He does. And Jackson Penn has also been running really well. But I got to say, I feel like Caden, for the most part, has really been doing the hard work.
I completely.
You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like the mule. Like he is just really running hard. If I counted this up right, I think he's 10th in the area right now, right behind Hunter Palmer from Central.
Mentioned
He's
him
got
earlier.
a total of 385 yards. Caden does, and 7 touchdowns. And he has helped us a lot. Yards per carry about 8, which is also very, very impressive. Like we said, it takes like 4 or 5 people to bring him down.
It takes about 8 to bring him down, honestly.
Yeah. So it's
Caden.
Caden. Well,
we are glazing.
I forgot he was watching, but Caden, you deserve it, man. I'm telling you, you have been playing really well.
You're fun to watch, brother. We appreciate it.
You are.
I will say this: all our running backs are splitting snaps basically 3 ways, from what I can see.
Yeah.
I think if you get a majority of the carries, just like any of these other
Teams
running
are.
backs, I think any one of our running backs is up there at the very top.
100%. Yeah, I will definitely say that. Like Cam Finney, not dogging on him because he's obviously an absolute.
He's obviously the best in
dog.
the area.
He is insane. But how many times has he ran the ball?
98, almost 100.
98 times. So like they pretty much rely on him. Now, honestly, if I was the coach, I would too. I don't blame him at all. But like Sam said, we do kind of split it 3 ways, and these guys are sharing their time with each other, and they're still performing very, very well. And Caden is number 10, and then Jackson is number 12, Jackson Penn. So
hey,
obviously
cousin.
they are
my
definitely.
Cousin, everybody, say hey to Caroline.
Hey Caroline, appreciate you.
Thanks for watching.
But yeah, they're really showing out, and they're having to split time with a lot of other people.
Guys, I think we're gonna have to move on to the pick'ems.
I think we are.
We've been on here for quite a long time. Oh, Carson wants to know what the QB1 thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Give us your quick synopsis of the game. What are you expecting? What are you seeing in film?
Not revealing too much.
Don't give away too much.
Yeah,
I'll
come on now.
I've already said what I thought, but I said I think we'll win. I think our defense will be the main asset this week. They will limit Lauderdale County to a few points, and that's really going to get the job done. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to matter how much points we score. I think if we just score a couple of times, it's going to be enough.
Absolutely.
I like that.
All right, let's go ahead and move to the pick'ems. You know, it is 7:50. We've been on here for right at 50 minutes. So let's speed through this. I'm going to read them. We're going to make our picks. You feel free to say something, but try to keep it to a little bit of a minimum. We talked about Coach Ben earlier. His son JB is watching.
JB is an
2-year-old.
absolute dog. He will also be out there on the field
Love that.
in several years, someday.
Several
and I
years.
can promise you this: he's going to be an animal.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man. You can just tell. He gives
can
off
just
that kind of vibe.
He does. He loves the game.
He really does.
You know, we're going to jump straight. You know, we did do 2 from each team of the game of the week. So we've got 2 from Lauderdale County, 2 from Marshall, and then we've got a few of the other schools. So let's go and jump right into it. Number 1, Marshall's tight end. You know, Cannon Pig hasn't gotten the ball too much this year. We've tried, but you know, he had 1 big catch and he got called back. Terrible call, by the way. I'm just gonna have to say
it was
that.
a great catch. I'm telling you, man. He mossed the kid. It was
Pass interference. Anyway, over under
It wasn't.
2.5 catches. Over under 2.5 catches.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you start.
As much as
I think he should start us
Yeah,
off.
let-
He's the one. He's the one slinging it to him.
I've got over 2.5. I think
All right, that's what I like to hear.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm going to be able to get the ball to him
If
tomorrow night.
QB1 says over, I'm saying over.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I think if QB1 was not here, and he hadn't have said that, I would have said under
I would
based
too.
on
oh,
this season. But I will say over. I mean, for goodness sakes, he's the guy throwing the ball to him. If he says over 2.5, I'm gonna say over 2.5.
with all due respect, you know, for the graphic, I'm gonna say under, not for the reason that there's gonna be, you know, bad throws or whatever. I'm just gonna say this, that Cannon.
He doesn't throw bad throws, guys.
Hey, no such thing.
No such thing. He's never heard of a bad throw.
I think one of Cannon's best qualities is his impact blocking.
Mrs. William knows best.
Look at that. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think he's an outstanding blocker. I don't think there's a better one at the tight end position, and
Mhm.
I think he's definitely going to get a catch. I just
At
don't know if it's
least.
going to be 3 catches. I think it's going to be 2 for yardage.
And I'm also going to comment on that blocking. He is also an absolute unit on the field. You know, he doesn't just, you know, if he's not catching the ball, it's not like he's not like he's not contributing. He is blocking people flat on their back. I mean, it's
And
really fun to watch.
Colleges seem to be noticing that. You know, he's got a plethora of offers. I can't wait to see him
Yes.
at the next level.
Him and his brother, who also commented a little
That's right.
a little earlier, but
Long
we'll get to
time
that. We'll get to that
All right,
later.
next one. I'm gonna preface this a little bit. I talked to some guys. Skylar Tucker, Lauderdale County tight end. He's been battling injuries really bad this week. You know, someone even told me both shoulders are injured. I heard he clapped on the sideline last week and one of his shoulders popped out of socket.
Oh
So,
my!
A lot of respect for this guy. You know, he's battling injury for his team. Over under 1.5 catches. I know they run the wing tee also, by the way. So they're not just throwing it so many times. I'm gonna take the under.
I mean, I gotta say, if you have shoulder problems,
Yeah.
you know, it's not usually the best if you're going to be catching football. So I got to go with the under.
I'm gonna go under as well. I've never heard of anybody clapping and their shoulder popping out of socket. or
Respect
out
to
of
that guy. I
place.
mean,
Respectful.
respect.
I mean,
Hope
really?
he gets better.
I
Absolutely.
definitely
Praying for
do.
you.
Hope it gets better, but that's pretty tough. I don't know how anybody can handle that, so I'm gonna have to go with under.
I've got the over. He's a really tall guy, and I think if they're going to target him a lot, and I think he's gonna catch it about every time they target him. I'm gonna go over 1.5.
All right,
At
I
least
like
2
it.
catches for him.
William, hope you don't mind. We're going to talk about you for a little bit. Thank you, Ms. Holt. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
We're gonna William Mann, obviously QB1 of the Marshall Panthers, having a great year thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 2.5 total touchdowns. William, start us off. Are you expecting?
I went with the under 2.5.
Very
I
modest.
want to
and humble
preface
guy.
this. He is a very
2.5.
humble man.
I think a good line would be 1.5. I think I could have 2, but so far I've not had 3 touchdowns in a game.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're playing Lauderdale County. You know, we're wanting to beat the brakes off of them,
Absolutely.
just like they are us. We'll William is extremely humble. Of course, I figured he would say
I did
under.
too.
I definitely think he's gonna have over. He's
I
been
do too.
throwing. He's been throwing the ball. He's been throwing the pigskin really, really well here recently.
Absolutely.
And he's been fun to watch. He's been throwing dimes out there, whether he wants to admit it or not. I definitely think he'll be over 2.5.
I'm gonna say just over. I expect 3. And I expect 1 rushing, whether it is whether it's a QB sneak, whether it's evading a sack and then running for a big touchdown. I'm expecting at least 3.
He can move, guys. He can move.
1 rushing, 2 passing.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, we got viewers from Georgia, guys.
Wow. Well, that's a first. Well, we
Right.
appreciate you watching.
Thank you so much.
That's
Really
awesome.
appreciate it.
That's awesome.
My favorite viewer now.
I know. I think it's mine too, and I probably have family watching this.
Sorry, mom, dad, and brother.
Sorry
sister.
about that, guys.
So I'm going to take the under, not for anything that Williams going to do. I think if we get around the goal line, our
Caden.
monster trio of running backs are going to be unstoppable.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
To that point, I think that Lauderdale County knows we have those running backs, and they're going to,
They
prepare
are.
for that.
And if they're not, they're.
And I expect a couple huge throws. And I expect 2
I do too.
touchdowns.
I do too.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
That's a good pick.
Lauderdale County seems to be their main running back. Calvin Watkins.
Calvin Watkins.
Running back. Over under 1.5 total touchdowns. I'm gonna take the over. It seems like they lean on him pretty much. His stats: 40 carries, 458 yards, 7 touchdowns, 11.5 yards per carry. I mean, this guy seems pretty good. I'm excited to watch him play.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. I mean, he's just right under. You have those like top 4 or 5 right under Cam Finney in the rushing, like yards per carry, and 11.5. He has more than Cam Finney does. He's leading.
Other than Hudson Higgins, he is leading. Hudson is at
Hudson does have
12.4.
12.4.
Way to go, Hudson.
So congratulations to Hudson. Doesn't shock any of us, but
Absolutely not.
Calvin Watkins 11.5 carries. That's 11.5 yards per carry. That's extremely impressive. And I really, to be honest, haven't heard much about this guy until today.
Are you taking the over?
I'm going.
I'm going over.
Okay.
I'm very impressed about this guy.
No, I got to go with the under. And if Cam Finney's not scoring 2 touchdowns on us, Watkins ain't either.
It's a good.
That's a good take. I like that.
Our
I've also
defense
got.
is just-
I've also got the under. I think 2 touchdowns is just a lot for one game. He might score 1, but I've got under 1.5.
All right, let's try to speed this up. Muscle Shoals High School, Notorian Hampton. I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. Running back, he's towards the top of the leaderboard in the area. Over under 125.5 yards. We talked about them playing Coleman. Seems to be a pretty big game. I believe that Muscle Shoals has dominated this series in the past. I'm gonna have to go with the over. Has 6 touchdowns on the year, 442 yards. Actually,
I was just about to go opposite of you.
I'm gonna go under. 125 yards is a lot.
I wanted to be different, but now I'm gonna be the same.
I apologize.
I was gonna definitely go under. Obviously he's a good athlete. He is sixth in the rankings right now.
That's right.
But yeah, I think he'll be under. He has 442 yards, which is impressive. But when you divide that by the amount of games he's played, anyways, under.
I've got over 125. He's gonna have a big game.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too. It's just not the same Coleman we're accustomed to seeing. That simple.
That's right.
True.
All right, this is my favorite pick of the week. I picked this pick'em. I think it's the first time we've had a combined pick'em.
So it is.
I'm gonna do
the inaugural combined pick'em.
I can't say the word.
In the inaugural show.
That's right.
At least live in this fancy way of doing it.
Okay, so Central High School, we talk about their running back duo every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the best in the area. If not, up there. If it's not one, they're 2 or 3. So we're gonna go Hunter Palmer and Bryant Hamback over under together 350
and a
half rushing yards. William looked up pretty big when I said 350.
I think that's too high of a number. I know it's 2 of the best running backs, but I've got under because they've only averaged 236 yards per game together so far this season. I did the math before coming here, and I think it's just too high of a number. I've got under.
I got to agree with William.
Mhm.
I think one of them will get close to that 200 mark, but it's just
That's
350 is unheard of.
Who do they have this week?
I have a West Limestone, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, over,
Mhm.
over. Larry, hey, that's the best referee you'll ever meet. Larry Freeman
Larry Freeman.
he is the man. Thank you so much for watching.
I
Larry.
met him at some point, but Larry Freeman, we
You're
appreciate
the
you
best, Larry.
tuning
Thanks
in.
so much for tuning in.
That's awesome.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go under. I'm gonna have to go. I know they're playing. What did I say it was? West Limestone.
Yes.
I know they're playing West Limestone, but I'm gonna have to go under. 350 is like Cam Finney level. I hate to be that way, but he had like 367 a couple weeks ago. So, anyways, I definitely think they'll be under. Like Sam said, I think one will be close, but I don't think they'll be over 350. Now they might be close, but not.
I'm gonna have to take the over. I mean, I'm very high on these running backs, as I've said many weeks before. I'm expecting a big game out of them too. Moving on, back to Cam Finney. You know, we just can't stop talking about the guy.
No, we really can't.
Russellville's main man, over under 200 and a half rushing.
Okay, let's
yards.
make this quick. I think we all know.
Let's do a 4 in a row. Over.
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 That's enough with that.
Pretty easy.
We're gonna jump to Brooks, main running back.
Hey, I got a text
Oh boy.
from Carter Ham. All he sent was the number 361. I think he's trying to correct me from past weeks.
It was 67. 367.
Carter, I want you to listen here. I was talking to you about this at lunch today. I said 367, you said 361, and we argued about it. I'm not gonna lie, and I know I was right. QB1's on my side. Anyways,
here we
next
go.
guy.
Brooks. Hey, by the way, coolest nickname in the area. Speedy Coffee. Is that right? Am I saying
Coffee? I
am I
mean,
saying that right?
he's a cool last name too.
That's awesome, dude. Over under 90 and a half rushing yards. I'm gonna have to take the over. They're playing Wilson this week, correct?
Oh,
So am I right?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they're playing Wilson. I have to go over.
I've got
I
the,
agree.
I've got the under because they're playing Wilson. I think he won't play too much. against
Oh,
Wilson.
Great point.
That's a great point.
And I think
Big Ten,
I
a
can
lot of
see
the
them
young
leaning on the
quarterbacks.
passing game.
I think he'll be over. I mean, we're looking at 90 and a half. I think he'll be over. He's averaging 7.7 carries, yards per carry. I definitely think he'll be over.
We are just above an hour, so let's do it the way we did with Cam. Let's really quick,
Real quick.
and then we'll have our closing remarks.
We don't have many more.
So from Colbert County High School, Jay Shot Samples over under 100 and a half rushing yards. You know, they do have Rogers this week, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna go the over.
I'm also taking the over.
I'm taking the over. He's got good
Over.
stats.
Unanimous.
Colbert Heights, Caden Harvey. He has shown up towards the top of number 3 in
Number
rushing
3.
rushing this year. So over under 110 and a half rushing yards.
I'm gonna go ahead and say over. He's averaging 10.9 yards per carry.
I'm gonna take the under. Just for this week.
I'm taking the over.
I'm taking the over.
Oh wait, they got Sheffield.
Yeah.
Over.
You guys just put one of the best smile ever.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Hey,
Hey, that's one of the best guys you'll ever meet.
well, Larry Freeman, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll, same time next week.
Same time next week. We're expecting it.
All right, Deschler Q Harden, running back, I believe, over under 100 and a half rushing yards. They are playing. Who are they playing this week?
I'm not sure, so I'm going to take the under.
Hold on, if I believe
They're
right,
actually not playing anybody.
they're not playing anybody this
I
week.
took the under in that
I'm
one.
gonna take the under.
I'm gonna also take the under. I don't know how he would manage.
That was
to get,
Sam's doing.
I don't know
Sam
how
did
he
that.
would
That was
manage
not
to get
me.
over 100 and a half
Moving
on an off week.
Lexington, they have Red Bay this week. We are not taking Red Bay. Lexington QB1 Brody Killen over under 2.5 passing touchdowns. I'm gonna take the under. Like William said, as a quarterback, 3 touchdowns is not easy.
I'm going to take the over here. He leads the Shoals in passing touchdowns.
I'll double check you.
Talking about. I'm pretty sure he's up there.
You do.
Yeah, so I think Red Bay is going to be pass fest.
Yeah, I also think he'll be over. Like me and Sam said, we're not really going for Red Bay here on this one, and I definitely think he'll be over. He's looking pretty good this season.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
All right, let's make this quick. LSU Tigers, UCLA.
we're not looking too hot, and I believe it was 4 years ago we lost to UCLA game opener. So
Embarrassing, by the way.
yeah, we're gonna win. I feel 100% confident, but
How do you feel?
look for a big game
I'm
from
not-
Nussie.
I believe LSU is like 25-point favorites, so should be an easy game.
I think so.
But in-
UCLA is not their hottest.
Oh, sorry, guys. I mean,
Well,
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Matt.
Neither is LSU. Anyways, next
Hey,
one.
Claire from church is watching. That's awesome.
Oh, that's
Thanks for
awesome.
watching.
Hey, Claire, how's it going? Good to have you on the show. Let's
Back
see.
to Brody.
Back to Brody.
I've got the
Oh,
under.
I had over.
You got the under. You had the over.
Yep, 3 touchdowns is a lot.
That's the expertise talking right there.
That's true.
I
That's
feel like I
true.
need to switch mine, but I'll stay.
I'm gonna stay.
You
just
better
for that-
stay
just
now.
by for diversity.
All right, we've got the tackle leader for the area of the Shoals area right now. Cash Fuqua from Colbert County. He's got 51 tackles on the year, averaging almost 13 tackles a game.
12.8.
So
That's insane.
feeding off 12.8, over under 12.5.
I'm gonna take the over here because, like we said against Rogers, the records don't really stack up. So this is a big game for Colbert County. He's gonna have to show up, and I think he will in a big win.
Over also.
I'll also say over. They are playing Rogers, and he is looking really, really good this season. I haven't heard of stats like that, and
That's all.
Wow.
I mean, that's
it's very impressive.
That's ridiculous.
We've got the under. Rogers passes the ball a lot, might limit his tackles.
I could see
Good
that.
point. That's a very
All right, and the final over under before we get to our closing remarks. Rogers, main man, QB1, Tyser Wood. Stats not too bad this year. He's
leads the Shoals in passing yards, or he's up there at least.
he's up there, but he also I believe he leads the Shoals in incomplete passes.
Yeesh.
So
And is he not? Would he?
not interceptions. I
Really?
think they had that stat last week.
Well, he's got to be close.
He's he's tied for one.
Okay.
So he is up there.
Alright,
But
I knew it.
so over under 150 passing yards. I'm going to take the under. Colbert
Same
County.
here.
Colbert County looked good last week against us, or 2 weeks ago against us.
They did. They did look good. They came off really, really strong. Tyser Woods, he does have a lot of yards, but also he's thrown the ball
More than anybody.
63 times. So it's quite a lot. I definitely think he'll be under though.
Yep. Also got the under.
Thank you so much, Larry. Can't wait. to see
Larry,
you
we
next week.
appreciate it. That's awesome.
I will tell Matt. Appreciate you very much. All right, let's move to our closing remarks. It's been a great first week here, guys.
Guys.
I'm really enjoying being with you guys here. A lot of people are gonna miss the Friday night lights, us being there, but I just think this is so much better,
This is pretty cool, and I think we definitely have some potential we can tap into with the Thursday night. This is really the reason we made it Thursday night, so we could get like QB1 like William on the show, because they're available. We used to do it and they were warming up, and it's just kind of hard to do things that way. Again, I know we've already done it, but shout out to Caleb Sampson. He
Thank
has
you so
helped
much.
us more than you know, and he's been super eager to help us also. We didn't have to ask him. He actually brought it up to me before I even said anything about it. So we really appreciate that. If you could tell your friends, your family, anybody you know that might enjoy things like this, tell them about this, get them to follow, get them to like, and tune in with us next week.
And you can reach out to us via the live stream, send the comments, or you can direct message us on Instagram
or
or
YouTube, Facebook.
just however you can. We would love to have your comments, and anybody you would like to have on the podcast or on the show, let us know. And if you would like to, well, we'll get to that later.
And in upcoming weeks, we did run a little long. We were kind of a little long-winded today, but I'm pretty impressed. I will say we haven't really. This is the first time we've really done this.
That's right.
But here in the upcoming weeks, we are going to have like a Q&A segment, kind of, to where we're done with the pick'ems. We're done with going over the games in and of themselves. And that'll just be time for y'all to comment and ask us questions. It could be questions like UCLA and LSU, anything under the sun. But yeah, if you would tell the people you know about this, and we'll try to.
Again, let's clap it up for our guest picker, QB1, William Mann. Expecting a big game out of you this week. By the way, to all the games this week, we're praying for safety, praying for a great game. Everybody has a good time and stays healthy. We're rooting for everybody around the area. We may seem a little biased, Marcel, which we are in a way, but we want everybody to have a good time and everybody to be as successful as they can be.
100%.
So,
we appreciate you tuning in, and like I said, share this with other people.
absolutely. We'll see you next week.
Y'all have a good night.
Next Thursday at 7. Thanks for watching.